Hello, guys. I hope everybody is doing well today. Can you guys? Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I had some major issues with my computer yesterday, so I just wanted to apologize about that. I know that some people did complain about that. My bad. I was just trying to take care of business. So I hope everybody's doing well. I am out here just enjoying having fun. We're gonna look at some cool stuff today in the markets. And so it's one of those things that we're going to look at. The market is now dropping back down. We did hit our area here. And so it's been pretty cool to kind of look at the markets and see what they're doing. S&P is kind of doing a little bit of a sell-off off of this 200 period moving average. On top of that, we have Brinks today with us, which is pretty dope. Brinks, if you want to say, hey, how you doing? The listeners know that he's top vetter for vetter. And he. I'm hoping that we're gonna start doing the show together. I know that he's a pretty busy man, but whenever he can hang out and shoot the breeze with us, it is always welcomed. But go ahead, say what's up, Briggs.
Hey, Pedro. How's it going?
It's going well, you my friend.
Glad to hear it. I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome. And what is it? What have you been up to today? What have you been checking out lately?
Uh, uh, um. So, but the last couple weeks, I haven't really been scouting or betting too much because of anticipation and Scott because of anticipation of better ecosystems, the new launch pad that's coming out on Sunday. So I've been focused on that, on just like hanging out in the Telegram, helping people, helping out the mods with just like answering questions, and helping to like just keep people engaged, kind of in anticipation for Sunday.
Got it. And if you don't, actually, we should probably let people know who Vetter is. What
Mm-hmm.
is Vetter and what do they do?
So Better is a token that came out last October, I believe. I forget if it was October or November, but they launched a token, and it's a good way for people to find pre-sales and things like that, but before they actually launch, in order to help people find the next 2x to 100x, possibly even more. We don't give financial advice, but it's a research tool that pretty much we have trained scouts, trained betters go out, look for upcoming pre-sales, give their feedback on things they like, don't like. And personally, what I try to do is I try to use those posts to educate people, because a lot of people that are new to DeFi don't realize. Like you'll see all these videos and people kept complaining online, but my wallet got hacked. I lost all my money. But it wasn't necessarily they got their wallet hacked. That they connected their wallet. That there's a 90% chance they connected their wallet to a DeFi app that was malicious, and once they connected and signed a transaction, that they gave that app permission to steal everything that they had in that wallet. So so like if I see a project that's coming out that expects you to connect directly to their platform, I always advise people to use a fresh wallet that either doesn't have any funds in it, or that doesn't have any funds in it, or very minimal. That if it was to get hacked, they wouldn't be too upset. And then I'll also point out like that there's a misconception of what a docs team is, but where people just think it's a name and a face. No, anybody could just go on to Google, find a random picture of somebody, put it on the website, and say my name's Bob Sassafras. I just made that up, and then people believe it. They'll say it's a docs team. I don't consider someone doxed unless that they are fully. Unless like they have a video of them somewhere talking, that they constantly talk on voice chats, that they have a picture with their name, but LinkedIn profile, and I'll even say it looks like a fake LinkedIn profile if I see one that only has like 10 connections.
Yeah,
It was started like 2 weeks ago. I'll be like, I'm pretty sure that's a fake account.
yeah, and I think that's one of some of the things that we look for, right? As docs, once you start to get in, I mean, everybody hates being, that feeling of violation when somebody hacks your account. I remember when I first got started with you, right, and we started going through, and I thought that my account had my Saitama hacked, right? And I was like, no, because it's such a violent, and it was just simply I had miscalculated, put in the wrong wallet, and I was still fairly new to everything, but still, it's just that horrible, like, it's almost like you've been, like your house has been robbed, or, it's just,
yeah, I remember that story, and it ended up just being you were looking at the wrong wallet.
Well, when you're new, it's like, you always
but which is definitely a good thing. But that's because you're over. You have a good problem. You're like me. You're like overly paranoid.
Yeah.
But like you even, I remember like you were even but like deleting your wallet off your computer.
I was.
Did you have like a different wallet for each coin that you have? I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except for the ones that are like complete degen plays.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I just got $100. I'm just gonna throw it at this. Like I'd go to the casino.
Yeah.
If it 1,000 X's.
Still
I'll
1,000
be
X. That's 100. Yeah, exactly. Like sometimes, man, we get 100 X or 200 X on some of these degen plays, and you're like, sell. You're just, come on, So it's
yeah. Oh, hold on. My stepbrother just called me, which is weird. Let me. I'll be right back.
I'll jump right into the market. Jump in and we can talk. So just to give you guys a heads up, so Better is also another place that they have a website that they put launches, pre-launches. You go and kind of you it's like an IDO where you go through, and if you don't know what an IDO is, it's basically like a launching pad that launches projects. But they don't necessarily launch projects, but what they do is they let you know of good projects launching, and they have a crowdsource AI, which basically means a bunch of people looking at the same project and talking about it, and so you can actually buy. And there's ranking for all these people. So if they're really good rank, meaning like they have like a purple better, which is what Brings is, he's done enough to earn that route, and a lot of people have liked, and he's proven himself over and over and over as a good vetter of projects. So that's why it's called Vetter. So that's why I really like bringing Brings on, because he has a really good sense of just the market. His baby is primarily BSC. But my goal, if anybody knows anybody who's a good vetter of, let's say, Matic or Crow blockchain, and because there's a lot of stuff being launched on other blockchains. Most people are most familiar with BSC, but there's so many other blockchains, and out of those blockchains, other projects are being launched. So I want to encourage you guys to go check those out as well. I actually just bought a coin that was launched on Crow and on their blockchain, because I was like, oh, this is a great coin, and they were really low. They had shot up, obviously during the push, and now they're at such a low price. And I had been looking at them a while back, but then once I realized they were, like 95% down, I said buy, right? Because it was just on discount for myself, and I saw it, and it has its own wallet as well, right? Like I have multiple wallets to make sure that I'm good. But yeah, also like the Matic wallet, and a few other things. So it's just, there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot to DeFi, decentralized finance, but it's these things you want to stay in. So if there are other people who are really good at great bettors for other blockchains, please come. I'd love to have you on the show and just have you talk, and maybe you and Brinks and other people could talk back. I'd love to have this, 5-6 people in here just talking about projects and what's going on and looking at certain things. So we'll see.
Back.
No worries. So I'm actually going to go right into the markets here right now. But I first have to go into the disclaimer here. So the disclaimer: no investment advice. The information provided on this video and website and live stream does not constitute as investment advice, financial advice, trading advice, or any other sort of advice, and should not be treated. It should not treat any other video and website content as such. I, Moonrock, and Gets do not recommend that any cryptocurrency or any other assets that are mentioned should be bought, sold, or held by the viewer or listener. Do conduct your own due diligence and consult a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. I am not a financial advisor. This content is only meant for entertainment purposes. Please consult a tax professional on any gains or losses as a result of investing into crypto or any assets invested in. This is not financial advice. This is for entertainment and social educational purposes. All right, guys, so let's jump right into the charts. So we're seeing a little bit of a sell-off on some certain junctional points. We are sitting at a supply zone here on the daily, as well as the weekly zone. So in addition to that, on the S&P 500, we definitely have some movements. Now we have that 50-period moving average sitting right here on the weekly. And in addition to that, this 50-period moving average is something to pay attention to, primarily because it is a 50-period moving average. And it's on the weekly. In conjunction with that, we also have this in relation to the 200-period moving average on the daily. So we need to make sure we're mindful of. Now, we are sitting at the 400-period moving average, also sitting in between. So we might do some ping pong. You can see that we found support right here a few days ago off the 400, and now we are rallying up here. So we don't know. Obviously, it did push through this, right? So I think this is a bit weaker on the 400. We could see this push down to the 8-period moving average on that daily, which also is on the weekly. We have the 89 sitting below it. So I can see it's continuing down here to at least this 42. Maybe do a little bounce and have a bit of a ping pong action, but something to be mindful of as we're moving with the S&P 500. Let's go ahead and go here real quick. Go to that monthly. Point out here, we also have a cross here of the death cross. It's not a major death cross. I don't know, maybe a broken leg cross. But I was saying yesterday, hey guys, we are pushing up to here, but we were hitting other higher time frame SMAs. And this right here is important simply because it's more confirmation saying that the market is probably going to go down from here. So a lot of times they're bringing in all the suckers who think that the markets are going to be moving up. And what institutions do is then they take those buy orders and sell to it. And then they turn the market back around, right? Because everybody goes, oh, we're back up, hoorah, right? And then they go, bloop. I could be wrong, and we could continue moving up. But because of just so many SMAs that are sitting here, I just feel as if it's just a false rally. Also, the biggest reason why is the actual volume overall. So if you look at the volume here, you can see as we are moving down, even on this red green candle, we had an overwhelming amount of sellers, another overwhelming amount of sellers here. As we see as we're moving up, we have smaller amounts of buyers stepping in here on this monthly. So for me, like we're already at half of the market here. And look, we even, we're probably going to get to here unless we have a major push of buyers. And one thing about traders as well as investors is they will, there's no opium with us, right? We sit there and we look at, okay, this is what the chart is saying, or this is what the fundamentals are saying. If you look at fundamentals on the actual markets, it's not boding well for America or the rest of the world. We are in the state potentially right now of recession. So it's just a lot of stuff. So that's why I look at this rally as basically it's a bear trap, right? So they're just messing with people. Yeah, bear market long from Josh type bags. I love Josh. I love it. Hey man, if you want to come in here, just let me know, and I'll send you the link. Actually, you know what? I'll just send you the link right now, my friend, real quick. Boom. Oh, so what are your thoughts on the S&P 500 real quick, Brinks?
Sorry, what was on mute? To be honest, I'm not too sure. I haven't really been looking at it. But like whatever you think is more likely than what I think.
Well, it's funny because I know you. We've had some discussions, right? And I guess I'm bragging about myself. Forgive me for this, but it's been a couple times where I've said I don't know.
Pedro, no need for you to brag about yourself. I'll brag about how good you are. Because, but like, can you pull up Blocktopia's chart quick?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Well, not the. We'll pull up the live chart. Not just like the coin market cap.
Okay. And you mean off of
Trading View.
And it's block, right?
Yeah. I usually do. Well, it's the second one from the top.
BlockNet?
Oh. No, never mind.
I'm gonna go block. Here it is.
There it is.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, because I remember we watched the launch of that one together. You gave me like perfect a perfect ladder down at the launch, but like I had one extra buy that was just a little bit where it just didn't go down to, but the funny thing is it went down to it 6 months later.
Right, yeah, it was like right here, right? I remember it came back down to it, tapped it in, and then we saw the rally.
Exactly, but like when it happened, you literally called it. Can you full screen that or but like zoom in a little bit more?
Whereabouts?
I know you want to keep the disclaimer up, but maybe make that a little bit bigger if you can.
Got it. Let me also do this. Go ahead. Actually, you know what? We can. There you go. All right. What do you want me to do?
So I remember like as that was running up, but like the IDO price was but like 3 zeros something. I forget the exact one. And the second listed, the second they launched it, it instantly launched on KuCoin, and it shot up from 3 zeros to a penny.
I remember. Yes.
And,
Yes.
and then you told me put in a buy order at 207, 205, 202, 201. The only one that didn't ladder down to it the launch was the 201.
Mm-hmm.
But I left that buy order in it just in case, and then like what was running up to like 19 cents. You're like,
So
bro, I don't know when, but it's coming back down to at least where you bought it at.
yeah, it was this right here. I remember
Yeah.
this because I said, bro, these candles, bro, it's these candles, and this is what it was. Really, I saw this come back down to here, and I saw this big buyer wick. But when you go and you zoom in on this day, it was primarily sellers. That you had more volume on seller wick than buyer wick, and then I think probably maybe Blocktopia, maybe I know BitBoy was in this. Maybe BitBoy stepped in and bought it at this level, hoping that he could push it right, and then.
So I'll tell you why like it held up above 10 cents for so long. So because of how low the IDO price was, that there was pretty heavy vesting. So that's what allowed it to have that big pump. And then is, but like where the downtrend really started at that double top.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah,
I would consider that a lower high. I would just consider that a lower high.
Yeah.
And this basically came in here. So when we came and put this buyer wick here. But this buyer wick, again, like when I saw the continuation of the actual volume and started seeing this kind of go sideways here, I was sitting there going, I don't know. Like in comparison, I wanted to see volume like we saw here at this level.
Yeah.
But we didn't see volume like this here at this level. Like this huge sell-off. I mean, this is literally half the value of it, at least. You know, it went up to 17 cents. And it came down to the 5 cents. So it easy cut up almost 2/3 of its value. So I'm thinking, all right, we should see some major buying stepping in if investors are really getting into Blocktopia. So when we didn't see that volume step in as hard like we saw at the actual opening, I said, And then when I started seeing more seller wicks than buyer wicks, dude, I said this baby's going down. When you go into let's say
yeah, like right as like that downtrend really started.
Yep, right
here. You're like, bro, it's going back down to like 205 to 201.
Yeah, because I remember we got on the phone.
Calling it. Yeah. And like, nah, it's going down to like 5 cents. And then like it found support at 5 cents. It might have had a little bit of a really small rally, but then it just had a dead cat bounce, and then you were like,
well, and the other thing is, remember, Bitcoin also started showing weakness in November, December-ish. Then we saw that rally here, right? But this was that rally you saw with Blocktopia. And I was like, if this ain't rallying with Bitcoin like that, dude, it's not moving.
Yeah.
Like we should see this moving in conjunction with Bitcoin and the move of it, and we did it. And so for me, I sat there and I said, if this can't move with Bitcoin, and that rally, yeah, it's not that it's dead in water, but I mean,
no, it's not that. Yeah. I think it's just because it's down like 90%, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so like everything's down. Well, I'm not sure if everything's still down 90% because of the rally, but
let's jump back into that because
but everything's down about 70 to 90%, and they all went to 90%.
The smaller ones, like here's the key, right? Like Vetter, right? Vetter sold off, right? We saw a major sell off. You know, we even bring up Vetter because I mean, I was like, yo, this baby's coming down to here as well.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know, they got a lot of hype, and then and then you're like, okay, I'll buy.
Yeah, I should have listened. I should have listened to my gut.
Yeah.
Like that gut for me was that, or my technical analysis is on point.
Mm-hmm.
Like V chain.
Yeah, and you called the bottom for even better.
Well, this is a good example of what was. Why isn't it pulling a BE?
Because they're not. Because I don't think that they're tracked on Trading View yet.
Got it. Okay, we'll pull. And
So probably Dex tools would be better.
I don't think I can pull up Dex tools.
Dex. Oh, okay. Dex screener. Is that better than Dex tools?
Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. It just depends on.
Gotcha.
I like this because I feel like their data is more spot on. I know it's all off the blockchain, but I just feel like it's a better. I have more at my fingertips information.
Gotcha.
Let's pull this up here real quick. Yeah, so Vetter, it was doing the same thing, right? Like I sat there and I was looking at this going, here we go. Like this part right here, right? We went up, right? This was in November, right? Then we started seeing the sell off, and then we saw a really strong buying portion, like in this area with Bitcoin. But this started going down here. It was similar. It was a similar setup with them. And I said, this baby's going low, man. It's gonna go probably below. I didn't say below. I said right. I remember there was a zone right here, right? It was almost like right here. And I sat there and I said, it's going to come down to here. Obviously, when it's low, it's low. But like I said, these were the areas to be able to look into to start. If you're interested in this project, this would have been the dollar cost averaging area, because we should see it come down into this area, because it was just one big racetrack down, screaming to me, we want to go down here. So it came down. And now, like, when it started hitting these movements up, let me put in.
But I actually do have to get going in like a minute, Jason. Pedro.
Oh no, I just want to bring up but I do. I'm enamored with Vetter here, just simply because of what they're doing as a company, as what they're doing overall. They're really a great crowdsourcing AI system that just, they're phenomenal. They're really a great project. Yeah. So I like them a lot.
Me too.
Definitely, man. They got some great stuff. We got Josh.
You know how skeptical.
Go ahead, bud.
Because you know how skeptical I am about everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and I've seen your vets. I've seen you do really good. I've seen you really. You're hyper vigilant, and you really do a great job at looking at these. Like, this isn't these, and you do give a good fair view. Like, okay, listen, they may not be docs, but they've done 3 projects already, and they've done really well on each project. So even though they're not docs, they're, we've seen them, right?
Yeah.
And a few other things. So it's just interesting. And also, you're very good at saying, hey, look, if you get a 10x, 15x, which if you put $1 in and it goes to $10 or $20, take your profit, right? Like, take a big portion of your profit and then have a moon bag in case it rallies and goes crazy, right? So a lot of these projects are that way.
How long are you gonna be doing this for?
For probably about an hour. And my goal is to do about an hour a day, every day, with people. Kind of go over the news, go over some of the stuff that's going on. But in particular, just going over the charts and going over the top 10, 15 charts. So that's it. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. No problem.
Thanks for having me. If I can, I'll try to get back on if my other call gets
no worries
finished. But before.
No worries.
Talk soon.
We'll talk to you soon. Hey, what's up? How you doing, Josh? Things going well?
Going well. How you doing?
I'm doing well. We just kind of going over the marks. We just went over the S&P 500, checking out certain things here. We're just kind of waiting to see if we're going to hold on this 400 period moving average. I don't think we are. I think we're going to go down, simply because we've we've already pushed through it already, and it is showing weakness. So I think it probably is not going to go hold. I think we'll see the S&P 500 come down to this 4,200, 4,215 area. So we'll see what happens here. In addition to that, when we look at the NASDAQ here, NASDAQ is at a similar spot. We don't have the 400 sitting right here, but we do have that 8-period moving average. And we've already seen it pierce through here and push through. So for me, I am more hesitant to say that we're going to see at least come down to the 1300 mark, if not even further down to this 1260. I think we will probably find some support in this area here simply because we do have a daily zone right here. Second. Make that a green. So I think this area right here is a decent area of finding some type of support. If this does weaken, right, and the reason why I also have this out here is because this was previous support resistance. So we can either hit this area right here on the 12 or 1300 mark area, or this 1205. So be paying attention to this simply because we have that 50 moving average. We have the 89. Even though it's not trending, it's still sitting here and it's a strong SMA. And so when price comes and touches it, we'll probably see some type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Reaction, right? Ways to make money off of it for the day traders. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are I haven't even taken a look at a chart in like 3 days, 4 days.
Wow. I know that you've been trading off of those, some of the future stuff, and
Yep.
I know that you've been doing decent with that. So, how's that
Yeah.
going?
It's going pretty good. Yeah, I'm still on technically a vacation, so I've been trying to be around, but I haven't been diving super deep into this stuff. So I figure I hop on and listen to you and hear what you have to say. Speed me up and wind me up a little bit so I can get up. But I've been doing pretty good with my trades. I really dig the Bollinger Band concept. It's good visually for me.
A lot of people like it. I just, for me, everybody, no trader's the same, right? Ever. So it's one of those things that it's like, it's just part of it.
I like it because it keeps it simple.
Yeah.
So I was doing several moving average and all that good stuff, but it was like so much going on my screen. The Bollinger Band just kind of simplified a bunch of stuff for me. So it was nice. Which I still have other indicators and all that good stuff to look at. The Bollinger Band seemed to be the one that I kind of get my initial signals from, and then I'll back it up with other pieces of evidence, if you will.
No, I hear you. You said each trader is different, so they look at things differently. It's important to understand that. No one trader is going to see the market the same, but most traders who are successful do see the market in a general way. So when you're trading back and forth, you're able to sit there and say, well, they may be seeing it this way, but I see it this way. But our outcome is typically going to be roughly the same thing, right? So that's one of the things I do like about when, as traders, even though we may use different tools and stuff like that, that helps. Some people, the hammer is the go-to for everything, right? And some people, the screw gun, right, is another one that they love. So it's like, just
yep. There's more than one way to bake the pie.
Exactly. But as long as you're using the right ingredients and using the right heat, you're not gonna burn it.
Yep. There's more than one way to do it, but it's
yeah.
That's part of why I like trading. Is there's more than one way to do it.
Absolutely. So I'm looking at Bitcoin here, and just for everybody here first. So we're coming down to this weekly 200-period moving average. We can see here that we found support here, but it did not really and this is what I don't like on this weekly, is that I was hoping for more of a, if we're going to push down on Bitcoin, I was hoping to see more of sellers stepping in, but not necessarily, but we're not necessarily seeing that, right? So we're already at Wednesday, and so if we were going to have a big push of this week, we would have seen some major selling here. So we'll see what happens towards the end. but we're coming down into the support area of the 200 period moving average, as well as we have that 8 on the weekly coming up and coming to meet the sellers here. So it's going to be interesting to see as we start to move, as this comes down, are we going to see a pump up additional volume, or are we going to just see it just kind of slowly go down here? So like I said, when we look at the daily, this daily, we're putting in higher highs and higher lows. So what I like for myself, because right now I'm more bearish on Bitcoin than anything else, is that I'm seeing seller wicks here step in, right? Like we see seller wicks sitting in this area here. So I'm more hesitant to sit there and say that we will probably have a sell-off at least down to this area, if not down to the 20,000 mark. If we do see this come through and shoot through here, we'll see it push through, come back, retest, and then shoot down. It's important to be able to understand that, because that right there, many people get caught off thinking it's going to go down to the initial, like 12,000 mark, 13,000 mark. When in reality, we'll say here, we'll hit this area, they'll put in their supply and demands, or they'll put in their shorts here. So what happens when it pushes through, then it'll come back and test. People think it's going to rally up. So what happens is people start buying, but the institutions are taking the shorts off it. They're selling the shorts. Ding, 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 ding. Before you know, once they've gotten their short fill pushed through, then they overload the buyers with seller positions, and it drops the market. So it's important to understand that and see that in the market. That's why I look at the volume on like the 4-hour and the 2-hour to see, or even sometimes on the hour, you can really see it too as well as it's coming in, where you see an overwhelming of sellers when they want to turn around and push it down, right? You start to see the SMA start to turn and trend down, and so it's a beautiful thing. But like I said, each person looks at indicators differently. What are your thoughts on Ethereum and the new the ETH2 upgrade
2.0.
2.0? Yeah.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
going to be pretty big once it's in. I think they said that they're finally going to be able to do it in September, I believe is what I heard last. So that's going to be pretty big. Hopefully it eases some of the pain of transfer costs and all that good stuff too.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Apparently Ethereum's kind of known to make a date and then push it back and push it back. So
Yeah.
we'll see if they actually launch it.
We'll see.
And the real question is it already priced into the market?
That's
That's the
exactly what
question.
I think you're nailing that, because I think it is kind of priced into the market right now. I think we're definitely seeing this huge rally, and we're seeing the volume taper off here on the last few days or last few weeks of this rally. So it's really interesting to sit there and see, right? We definitely hit this zone area here, and now we're definitely rallying back up. So for me, when I'm looking at this going, all right, you know what? This is showing weakness, primarily because we're seeing like volume starting to taper off just a little. I'm hoping to I want to see something like this, right, where it's just climbing. Right now we're starting to see it taper off. So we'll see what happens this week. We're still on Wednesday, but I want to bring up this here real quick, like we talked about yesterday and the previous times. We really did rally pretty high on the SMA or on the previous month's candle here. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. If they shoot it down, we do got a racetrack down. So it's one of those things that I think was a very, it's just an indicator to let us know what's kind of going on, what they might do. So if I start to see some major sell-off here, obviously we're coming back down at least to the 1300 mark, if not to the lows of, the 900 area mark as well. Yeah.
Don't be so bearish. God, you're gonna scare our audience away.
You know what? I'd rather have you guys shorting this market when it's going down than you guys going through or at least dollar cost averaging. Because one thing I'm huge on is crypto. I truly believe crypto is not going anywhere. I mean, it's really it's here for our lifetime, if not indefinitely into the future. So it's just something that as it goes down, look at it like Google dropping down to $200-$300, $100, right? Like that's a steal, because even though, and this is the thing to bring up, Google hasn't stopped making money.
That's right.
Amazon hasn't stopped making money. They still make money. Yet the chart shows different.
Yep.
You know, I'm like, it's
Well,
like that's what I bring
I'm
up.
cool with the bear market.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
like,
cool with that.
yeah. You know, go make your money. If you can make your money, you know, that's where people become, you know, millionaires and billionaires. You talk to Warren Buffett, right? He became a billionaire after the 1970s bear market. He was able to buy into McDonald's. He was able to buy into Pepsi, right? As the market kept doing this, right? Over and over. And then before you know it, he was able to get in with huge positions when the market would, you know, come down to a low level. And he bought more, right? Because McDonald's was still selling hamburgers in the middle of the recession. You know,
Yep.
you know,
People still wanted to eat.
yeah, people still want it. Coca-Cola was still, or Pepsi, or it was that Coca-Cola at the time, it was still selling, you know, Coke out of their dispensers, out of the little things where you
The drink.
The drink, yeah. Good point. Yes.
Hey man, they're still out there. It's a bear market, but they're out there selling Coke. Like, whoa, Pedro, calm down. Okay, let's not encourage people.
It's a family-friendly
The
show.
drink. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. The drink. Like, whoa, hey. All right, there's other drinks other than Coke. Okay, like.
I'm sorry. That's good. We actually had some people who were listening to us yesterday and had some good criticism, basically saying, "Hey, stop sneezing, stop coughing in the mic." So I was like, it was funny. We were just starting this, and so just to jump off this here real quick. So we're seeing this definitely coming up and starting to turn around here on this monthly, just simply because I'm looking at this. I see, like we did. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But right now, we are showing it a little weakness for today, guys. You can sit there and see here that the weakness is coming in on Ethereum, and we are starting to push down. We are putting in some seller wicks, as you guys can see here. So be looking for at least us to bounce off of this 17 area. You can see here how we've tested this a couple times, and now we're starting to push back up. So we might hit it. You know, it's hit it a couple times. Boom, boom, boom. So, but at these times, it was showing strong like bull. Whereas right now, we're starting to see it kind of round over. So I do think we'll have a reaction. I'll be paying attention maybe for the day traders to capitalize on this movement when we come down into that 200 for the Ethereum. But really, because we have a conglomeration of SMA sitting here, this is where I really do consider a good bounce back. I don't really see any demand zones per se in this area here, but these buyer areas here, as I'm looking, is really more or less the. Give me 1 second. Come on, Papa. There you are. Boom.
So, do you think it being the summer's coming to an end and we're heading into fall, do you think the end of summer investors will help kind of maintain this weird small rally we're having, or do you think that'll have no effect and we'll still drop back down?
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is, you know, because summer, as if you don't know, most people like institutions will go away for the summer. They go to the Hamptons, they go to Mar-a-Lago. They just go and just kind of let the market do whatever it's going to do.
Yep.
And then once the summer ends, we see a huge push of buyers or sellers coming in. Now, are they going to allow us to have a Christmas rally into the fall and into winter? That is yet to be seen. I personally think that there are all these buyers here, and the institutions have no mercy, like literally no mercy. I don't know if you've ever been a day trader or if you've ever just been an investor, right? You know that the institutions want your stop. So there's too many stops for them to gather here, right? So that's why I sit there and I go, I don't think it's gonna. That's why I don't think they're going to be so gentle. I think they're gonna just push the market down. We're coming to an end of summer. September is coming. We're having, you know, uh, we've talked about the recession coming, or that we're in currently, supposedly, even though we're not. We haven't had the numbers yet, but it's one of those things that it's more or less showing. That I think they're going to push it down. I do. I think once those numbers come out and they start really, it's going to be a bloodbath. And I think everything that we see, especially when it comes to crypto, when the traditional markets turn around, I think we're really going to turn around even harder. So I'm buying, obviously, because I buy on a weekly basis with the coins that I really like, that I'm investing in. I believe in DCA, but then I also look for, what's up?
I said, that's right. Dollar cost averaging is the best way to do it. You're learning from me now, Pedro. I see what's going on.
Yes, but I also believe in, you guys have seen, I've been able to time the market a few times. So it's more than a few. But what I'm saying is that I see certain junction points.
Toot toot.
Toot toot. I know, right? A little toot toot.
It's okay. We all know Pedro's the best at this. We get it.
I don't say I'm the best. But
we will say you're the best. It's okay.
But I do see certain buying areas where institutions would probably step in. I'm eyeing Matic, right? Matic's in at 36 cents, right? I sat there and I was like, I'm waiting for that area.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dolo actually put he asked me, he's like, where do you think it's going to go? And I think at the time, it was sitting at like 70 cents, 75 cents. I said, we should see this down to 30 cents legit, 36, 30, 30 to 36 cents. He goes, all right. So he put literally limit stop. I was talking to him the other day, and I go, whatever happened with that limit order? He goes, dude, it hit. And I go, oh, that's awesome, bro. He goes, yeah, dude, like I'm so stoked, right? So I think if the market turns around, that we might see Matic even go below that, right? Like I've said that also as well. So it all depends on what the market's going to do, right? So, but
you think Matic will go lower than 30 cents?
I know that's gonna be hard because they, from a fundamental standpoint, they're juggernaut,
killing it.
Man. They are, man. But honestly, I'm also talking a way about Ethereum too, as well, right? I think Ethereum's real battle will be this 900 mark, man. If we go down to this 900 mark and we don't hold, we see Ethereum down at 500.
There's some weird wallets moving Ethereum around too. I think I saw an article about that.
Oh, really?
Some wallet that hadn't moved, something insane. I don't want to misquote it, but I'll guesstimate and say it was something like 200,000 Ethereum or something crazy like that.
Wow.
Hadn't moved in like years, all of a sudden got pulled from cold storage and got moved to a new wallet. So
there you guys have it. Man.
Makes you wonder.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it really makes you wonder, like, what's in the works, or is this Mr. Vitalik just moving some stuff around because he's ready for the next drop so that he can buy into other projects or something? Who knows?
He's the type of guy.
If I can find that article.
Yeah, see if you can find that article. I feel like he's the type of gentleman that really focuses more on the fundamentals versus little things. So I don't think. Because now that the SEC is really getting involved within crypto now, it's not just this little thing, right? Like you see them jailing people now, taking people to jail and stuff like that. So it would be stupid for him to do that, right? Because then if Ethereum does drop down to, let's say, 500, right? He looks really bad. They might just say, you know what, it's time to lock this guy up and put him in jail, right? So it would be smart for him not to play with that. It would actually be real smart. But he's also probably equipped enough to be able to hide his wallets. So, he's probably he's probably easily a billionaire. So he's probably got people, and he's a techie guy himself. So he knows exactly what he's doing. Also, let's jump right into so let's check out BNB here. So BNB, like I said, have been a juggernaut. These guys, man, they've overshadowed Bitcoin. and Ethereum. They have really from just a monthly standpoint, like I've said, they touched this 8 moving average, or none of the other ones have touched the 8 moving average. So I really am just impressed with BNB. So they came and touched it. Now they're selling off. So this is a good indication that, you know what, it might come back down to these lows here of the 230 to the 280. Right, these are good, I think, areas of being able to get in at a decent level. Also, want to point out though that we don't have as much volume stepping in for the buyers on the monthly. We are halfway through it though, and so to point out that we might see a higher volume, maybe even up to here. It all just depends what's going to happen within the actual sell-off of this of this down period real quick. It's not a bear market here, right? Or excuse me, it is a bear market. But what I meant though is how far are we going to see BNB come down? Are we going to see it come down to this 83 mark and see it go sideways and put in the higher low, right? And then see it move up again up to the 400 period moving average? Or are we going to see this thing come down into these lower levels? That's the key, is to be able to see what's going on. And just kind of wait, but wait for the confirmation of this. A confirmation for me is typically a sell-off, then retracement, and then to see it turn back around. So making sure that you're able to gauge what's going on with that. Let's go ahead and look at ETA here real quick.
Well, I'm glad you have that marked down to the 200s, because I think I have mine. BNB is something that I was trading before I went on vacation, and I think I have it marked down as right around the two. I think I have it marked at like 206 is what I think it might come back down to.
Ooh,
So
I
think
hope you're
206, 205.
Yeah, I have
something like that.
215. So I have 215 area.
Okay.
I could see right here the 206,
Yeah.
205 at this daily. The only problem is we have 2 wicks here. So what's the baby?
Yep, she's here. She's outside running around with me. We're enjoying vacation time.
So, but you can see, so I do see us really pushing further. So like from here, like I said, to me, this is the final resting point. If we don't, yeah, so like it's got this little bit, we got this little bit of wick right here, but it's already been tested. So that's why I sit there and I go,
yeah,
it's been tested. The 206, 205 area. I can sit there. I can see that very much. We could see a turnaround here. Very much could.
yeah, and I use a smaller. I think it's on a smaller time frame. I have it set up at. I think it's at I think it's on my 1 hour chart. So 1 maybe. I'm also going off of memory, and it's been over a week since I looked at my laptop. So
nice. If it does come down here, that would be nice. I mean, just being honest, simply because then I can buy it again at a lower price, right? Like.
That's right. That's why we like it to come down.
Yeah,
we can be a bear, but we're only trying to be bears so that we can put more money in, so that we can be bullish later.
Exactly. And like I said, I think I've inundated this, or I iterated this enough times. I don't think crypto's going anywhere, right? Like, it's just simply, it's what it is. We're in a bear market. It's what it is with crypto. As we see the market turn around, we're definitely going to see the market basically move, and it does what it does, and we're just going to capitalize on that. Definitely. Let's check out XRP here real quick. So XRP is, or XYO, excuse me, XRP. Oh, this is another broken heart right here, man. I bought some down in this area here, and then we saw this rally up. I bought it right here simply because I started seeing us putting in some. I thought this is just for me an area that if you go, it doesn't show it here. That's why this is
quite a quick little rally up there, isn't it?
Oh yeah. That was well. What happened was, they started rallying up, and then the SEC stepped in and said, "Hey, these guys are a security." And it was just like it went boop, choo. It was They came out with some good news about their stuff, and then it rallied
Man,
hard. And I had bought down in here at the 3.6 mark, or like the 6 area here, and then I was kind of saddened. I was like, man, I thought this was gonna be fighting. Whatever.
all
Like
right,
you
it'll
see,
come back.
yeah, when you see it go from 6 to a double or triple, right? You're like, eh. So we'll see what happens. And honestly, they actually might just be done because the SEC is now in their books and messing with them. And
Hmm.
I mean, just being honest, right? Now the SEC is involved, it changes everything. So we'll see what happens. But let's jump back to
There's just so much excitement in the market.
There really is. There really is. And I know saying, oh, the SEC, that's exciting. The reason why is because it's legitimizing crypto. And that's the primary reason
Correct.
why it's exciting. We can
Well,
see,
it's helping to legitimize it. Right now, they're just yanking it around.
yeah, actually, good point. Actually, good point. It's helping to legitimize it. But the
But
problem,
once they win the court case and all that good stuff, then that's when I think we'll see a serious rally.
you think so? You think with
Yeah.
XRP?
Yeah. Once they win, it's kind of like they ran out of things to say that are negative and they're running out of negative headlines. And once they win, because right now I mean, let's be for real, they're probably going to win it. It's just going to be one of those, they're going to be sore losers and it's going to take a long time for the win to actually come out. But once it comes out, it'll be huge because then everybody will be like, see, look, this is how it's supposed to be. We got some more hard, this is right, this is wrong. And then it'll allow projects to actually follow set rules and it'll allow the market to grow faster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of helps narrow the road so that everybody can have more of a straight shot to know exactly how they need to set up their projects to not step on the toes of the government.
Yeah. And you have the government play nice with you, pretty much.
That's right. Yep.
And I feel
So I think we'll see a little rally.
I think so too. I think so. We have some indecision here with this weekly candle here. So we're in between the demand and supply zone here. So I think until they come out, I think we're going to be ranging in this 35, 38 area mark, even this 40. So it all just depends on where we're going to be. But until we break either down or up, it's this right here is that we need to be paying attention to. So maybe accumulate here until we really, decide to push down. You can buy it down in this area of the 29 and 28 mark, or, let it buy as it comes back down. Because from here, the next buy is the 42, 40, 43 area. And by that time, we should see the 20 pair moving average on the weekly hit this area. So paying attention to that. On the daily, we're putting in definitely a lot more. I feel like seller wicks than buyer wicks. So again, I'm more bearish on that short term turnaround here. I'm at least seeing it put in a higher low down in this 33 area mark on the daily. So it's in a nutshell. And then let's check out. I think we did ADA already. Did we do ADA?
There it is. There's ADA.
Yeah, good old ADA here. So
this is what I've been trading off of.
Yeah, right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's money, man. Like you can capitalize on this. So you've been trading this from the PEPs, from the perps,
from Pancake Swaps. Yep. Yep.
Feel you. So
because I'm located in Mexico,
I believe
so I can do that. Yep.
Yes. But in the same sense, it's nice because it does allow you to be able to put in almost like 4 cryptocurrencies. And I don't know if you're holding, but if you are holding this as well, right? Like you can really capitalize as once when this market turns around, that you're able to really make money, right? Like,
oh yeah.
So if you can catch it at a low rate and then see it just rally up, I mean, you could get not 10x or 100x or even 1,000. We're talking 10,000x, 100,000x based off of the perpetual futures. So this is where I
mean,
really do. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, that's really awesome trading on the perps, especially with something like ADA that's swinging up. Well, right now I just got a notification. That's weird. Down 6% in the last 10 hours. But it's really easy if you can catch one of those penny swings with a little bit of leverage. You make some decent money.
Yeah.
It's a little bit nicer to trade.
And I truly see like institutions wanting to play with these because the fact is that they trade like futures on the
Mm-hmm.
EM, or not the EM, but the CME, right? They really do trade really close, like cent for cent or micro cent for cent. So it doesn't have these huge swings like your traditional cryptocurrency. And so you can trade it like a real future, but there's no switch in the future. So meaning there's no end of contract. It's a continuous contract for those. So it's really interesting to see where they're going to trade and how they're trading in these markets. I've definitely seen them step in and really starting to get in. So I don't know if they're pushing the market up to push it down or to push the market down here to push it up. But you can see that we did play and hit this 20-period moving average on the daily, and we're starting to bounce back up here. I'm curious to see if we see us get through and put in a big fat wick up in here, right? Obviously that changes that's the meta narrative in this point. But if we close somewhere down in this area, I do see us continuing down into this 50 or the 8-period moving average on the weekly. And then if this isn't hold in this area, right, which you also have the 8, the 20, the 50-period moving average in this area, 49, the 52 area. If it does not hold, then we're coming down into this 42 mark area for ADA. But again, ADA is like a juggernaut, so I like them a lot. I like them a lot. Now let's go ahead and go into Sol. Check out Sol.
And it makes me feel good whenever you go through your numbers, and I'm looking through my little charts on my phone to see if my numbers are close to yours, and we're close. I'm not as spot on as you, but I'm in the ballpark.
Hey.
I think I have ADA potentially coming back down and touching 49. What does that say?
Me? Did you say me or you?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yep. It was 48.94 is what I have it set to is one of my drops, one of my little resistance spots. So we'll see if it drops down that far.
Nice, man. That's nice. It's actually a good price. Like I agree with that. Like that 49 or like that 52, 49, 48 mark. Just because we have that's just an area where we can see some buyers and sellers stepping in. We look at that weekly chart here. We're definitely selling off to that 8-period moving average. Now, we're seeing a turn, almost like a sideways motion on the 8-period moving average, which is not a good indication. I want to see this coming up and wanting to lick the bottom of the candle here on the current candle. So right now we're seeing kind of a sideways motion as we're coming down. So that shows me almost a weakness, right? Like a real weakness here. So it's going to be interesting to see when we come down here if this 8 moving average is going to hold on this weekly. If we did see it support step in, but we'll find out what happens here. We'll find out what happens. But on that daily chart, we're definitely playing with this area. Now, I thought this area here would hold, right? We did sell off, hit this, and come down. But now, I did that yesterday. I moved a bunch of drawings accidentally. So now that sucked, you're like, I gotta go back and get it.
Yeah. And then you got to go back and you're like, oh, geez, I got to find where I put all that stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I've been using emoji markers. Don't know if you know you can do that or not.
No,
but I've been using like little smiley faces for my indicators. So if I see a wick that I want to watch, I can mark it with an emoji, and then it's easier to find when I'm scrolling through the time frames.
I am definitely gonna have
Just
to
on
play
another.
with that. That is dope.
Yeah.
It's actually cool. I'm gonna definitely have to mess with that. But looking at Solana now, I believe Solana has the Solana phone, right?
Mhm.
And in that same aspect, it's interesting to see what they're going to do. I know on that phone you're going to be able to mine Sol, so it's one of those things that is that going to add to the purchasing of Sol, right? Or are people going to sell off on it, right? So it's kind of a hit and miss, and that's going to turn them into a security as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see
Right.
how that works with this whole entire market.
Yeah,
You
the
know what
whole
I'm saying?
mining thing is getting a little wishy-washy with the market.
Yeah.
I feel like people are getting a little scared of it and backing off of it because there's other ways now, much easier to just buy yourself, $1,000 in something like Cardano and then stake it in the staking pool for 4% than it is to go and try to find yourself a way to set up and mine stuff and then have an issue of the government when you're
Yeah.
mining. So
No,
much easier to just stake stuff and put it in a wallet where nobody can see it. And as long as you hold the keys, you're all right.
yeah, I agree with that. It's one of those. It's a precarious time, especially the fact is that they'll come knocking on that door and just be like, "Hey, this is ours. We're going to seize it. Thank you. Have a good day."
Yeah,
Um,
that's a scary one for sure. The government can just roll up, be like, hey, we see you're mining. We're going to go ahead and take that from you. And you're like, whoa, what?
yeah, like we might come to a day where that just. I mean, that's what they did with gold years ago. People don't realize that they came in. I think it was in the 30s, right? I believe 20s or it was 30s and 40s. Forget it. I forget the time period. Forgive me on the dates, but they came in and they basically seized the American gold. They seized the American people's gold, like legit. Like, okay, that's ours. Imminent domain type of thing, and because they needed it for, I believe, the war cause and everything that was happening. So it was one of those
That's right.
moments that it's like, if the government wants to step in, and so for them to take your keys, you're like, no, you're not. Sorry. Have a good day.
Right.
So I can see, and that's one thing I do love about Moonrock's ecosystem and what they're trying to build with the time capsules and everything that correlates with it, because that keeps things in your pocket. I feel like,
Yep.
at
Yeah,
least
that's the best part about it. It all keeps it in your pocket and the government or other entities can't take it from you. That's the
absolutely,
best part.
yeah.
I'm wondering how long it's going to take before somebody tattoos their keys on like their leg. And then that way nobody can ever have their keys except for them. I feel like there's at least one person that's done that.
I was going to say, yeah, it's actually, I think that's exactly. Or you'll have like the digital things where you'll be like, I don't know, like they'll be just digitally set up. You scan like bloop.
A barcode.
Yeah.
Bleep.
Yeah.
Would you like your MetaMask? Like, oh
Yeah.
yes, I would. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a matter of time when it's coming. I mean, people believe like the mark of the beast and stuff like that. So I can totally see crypto moving in that direction. But whatever. It's all however people see things, how they see the world. But jumping into this point right here, though, we're coming down into this area here of Solana, this $39 mark here. Again, this is similar to what we are seeing with the other markets where you have that 50, you have that 89 junction area. So are we going to hold? We also have that 8-period moving average sitting right here on that, I believe it's the monthly or weekly. It's the weekly here. And so it's just going to hold as it's not. It's similar to what we were watching. I am noticing it that we are putting in way more seller wicks than buyer wicks, and we are holding up when it comes to the volume. So I wonder if it's going to hold or we're going to see it fall through. I think it's going to fall through, and we're going to come down and see more buyers down or more buying in this 31, 36 area. So we'll find out what happens there. If we do not support in this area, we'll come back down, retrace into the 31, 34 area, and then see it come back down to this 18 period. Typically, The reason why I say that is just simply it's a free run all the way down to here, right, where you have buyers. If this is not hold, we'll see it then push through, come back down a little, and then retrace back into this area and drop back down to this $10 mark area as well. So
Yeah, we
it'd
got
be
some
great
low
to see.
volume too over there.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing is the low volume that we're seeing step in as we're seeing it rally up here. So that's why I'm more bearish on Sol. You know, from a fundamental standpoint, I know they got a lot of good things happening, but I love to bring up the story of Jeff Bezos, right, and how he was going through setting things up for himself, right, when he first started Amazon. And even though they had more contracts coming in, they had more business coming in, their metrics were doing phenomenal. The stock was down. It went from $100 down to $8, and
Yep.
and there was no point to that actually happening. There was no point. I mean, there's some bad news that happened, but it wasn't like the company was still doing great. So we see the same thing with Sol, right? The institutions want to get in at a low level, and if they're going to push the market down to those low levels, you know, nothing's stopping it. So, I'm definitely seeing less, less buyers stepping in on this movement up. So we'll find out what happens. Let's check out. Now, what are your thoughts on Sol? I'm sorry, I apologize.
I'm pretty much in agreement. I think it's going to drop back down. I mean, I don't have my computer or anything, but just looking at that chart, it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a downward spiral. Maybe it'll get caught up, but looking kind of sad. Looking like we might have a little push or a little drop.
It does. I feel the
Well,
same way. We'll see. But
yeah,
like I said,
those higher highs aren't looking very strong.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Like
We are putting higher lows though. We are putting those higher lows, so we could
Yeah.
just see a ascending triangle, right? But I don't really trust the those ascending triangles or the head and shoulders as much. I used to back in the day. They did work, but I feel like they definitely lost a lot of their stuff. Bring it
Yeah.
up, Doge. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you use Fib? You don't use Fib, right?
Sometimes I do, but I use it a little bit different for cryptos. You know, I use them primarily as 66 to 75% retracement, right?
Gotcha.
Is what I look for within that. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking for.
Okay. Yeah, I thought last time we talked, you said something about doing Fib stuff, and I was like, well, I don't know, man. What's Fib say about it? But
Yeah, I've been messing with it, but I'm still trying to learn fibs. If anybody knows any good fib teacher, throw them my way, man. I'm always looking to learn more stuff about the market. But
yeah, too many different ways to do this.
yeah,
Gotta stick with the best way.
Doge here, I was actually really impressed yesterday. I saw when I was covering it, it was showing a little bit of strength, but we had put in, and I started to do a sell off and push up above here, and I was like, we'll see what happens there. So it came in with major volume. From a news standpoint, do you know why this pushed up and rallied like yesterday? Because that's a substantial volume stepping in, right? Compared to within the last few months. This was a major volume, so I'm actually really impressed with since July 1st, we haven't really seen that amount of buyers stepping in. So I was wondering what the actual news were for it, or maybe not. Maybe just they had a big buyer who stepped in and really said, you know what, I really like it. I'm going to buy. We can
It's either that or somebody knows something we don't.
Yes, very much good say. Very much good. It's a good comment. It's a good statement. You can see here that we're definitely at that 20 period moving average. And we did get a sell-off, but we also bounced off of the 200 period moving average sitting right here. And so that was the low right in this area here. So we came down, we touched it, now we're rallying back up. So it's so it's Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So we went up, came back down, touched it, rallied up on that 200 period moving average. Also, that could just simply be the 200 period moving average working. The only thing is that I see though is we don't see a big seller wave or a big buyer wave with this. So that's why to me it kind of screaming it might turn around here, but we'll see what happens. Let's check
I did
out.
hear a thing that Dogecoin's a good indicator of bullish sentiment in the market.
Oh, really?
Maybe people had like a little, yeah, because Dogecoin's kind of like well, it's not the leader of the meme coins anymore, but it's technically, the original dog coin. So when people feel like, oh, I can start making some serious gains if I move my money from, my Ethereum holdings to Dogecoin. So when the market starts looking better, people move their money from something more stable to something a little more risky to see if they can get some better gains out of it. And then Dogecoin is usually like a micro indicator of it. It's not a foolproof way, but whenever you see Dogecoin start pumping up, it's usually because the rest of the market is starting to build some strength on the upward trend, if you will. So just something to think about.
That is a good thing to think about. It's really good thing to think about. It's good to know. Let's check out DOT to see what DOT does. DOT is definitely showing some weakness here. Let's check out the monthly here. Boom. Yeah, it's about the same here. Weekly. So weekly chart is starting to come down, definitely. But we're definitely selling off. We're coming below the lows here on DOT. So I definitely see DOT continuing down to this 7. Yesterday I was talking about how we're putting more seller wicks. And so unless we have some major volume yesterday, we would definitely see a sell-off today to at least the 20 and at, maybe find some support at the 7 or 8 or, the $7.98 mark. But either way, if we don't touch here, we're coming down to this lows easily here.
660.
Yeah, 630 area.
I was looking at the 630 or 630 to 650, depending on where those wicks are. I can't really see on my phone. The wicks right above 660, right in there. Is there a wick all the way to the left there? Oh, there is. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, I would.
I'm like zoomed all the way in on my cell phone. Like I don't know, man. I can't see. Yeah, never mind.
Well,
okay.
I can see here and see. Yeah, it's still. I mean, I don't want to talk about Chris's
Yeah.
right, but we can see here, right, that the wicks are screaming that this area isn't that strong. It's really this
Right.
area here that is more stronger than anything. So, the 626 to that 601 area is really what I'm looking at least to DCA on DOT. If not from here, we're also looking down to the $4 so these are these junctional points that we want to be paying attention to. Boom.
If it just falls past that, it'll just keep free falling for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A little rough for DOT.
Real rough for DOT, but they have such a good interoperability system to really draw in other blockchains and be able to exchange back and forth between other cryptocurrencies that, again, I don't see them going away. Like they're so well used and so used a lot, especially, the Ukraine war, people were literally sending DOT to them. So, that just explains how well developed they are as a cryptocurrency. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Like I don't think it'll I don't want to say that it's not going to fall down real far, but I think it's got enough strength and enough investors that I don't think it'll drop down to that $2 mark at all. We might, depending on how aggressive the next dip is, right? Because this is kind of like a false rally is what a lot of people think. It might dip down to that $4 range, that 429. But I don't imagine that DOT has what's the very bottom that it dropped to in this bear market? Did it drop all the way down to that $2 mark or to the $2 for this bear market? Yeah, I don't.
No. Go ahead.
I don't know if the rest of this bear market's going to have that much strength to push everything back down that far. No,
Depends on
I
what
mean that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like,
It all depends
I
on what
mean,
Bitcoin does, right? Because if Bitcoin starts to really sell off, and we see it come down again to, let's say, 10,000 mark, um,
yeah,
that's going to have some major implications for the rest of the market. And I
I don't
think,
know. Ethereum's starting to do its what's that called? Drawing a blank. Ethereum's starting to act out against Bitcoin, and then
yes,
people are, and if that starts to become a consistent trend, that
yeah,
means Bitcoin will no longer lead bear and bull markets, and it'll be more uh not diversified. It'll
no, it
depend on
is.
the two different coins to lead a bear market,
Yeah.
which could be huge.
I mean,
So
Ethereum could become the leader, right? They could
right,
easily become the
right,
leader, and then Bitcoin follows suit. So it all
right,
depends. It honestly depends on the adoption of what major coin is going to be fully adopted as the leader of the
right.
pack. So
Yep. And with this new merge they're doing,
yeah,
it's looking pretty good for them. If anything, Ethereum will just lead the way in a different direction and won't have to follow Bitcoin, which means everything on the Ethereum network will kind of follow suit with Ethereum, and that might give some diversification to the rest of the market to kind of do their own ups and downs and waves. So then it'll allow people like us who want to trade it, then you really start focusing on like, okay, I got to focus on Matic because Matic's up 25% in the last week, for example, but Bitcoin's down 13 and Ethereum's down, 18. But for whatever reason, Matic, it'll allow everything to kind of act out on its own limb. I think
yeah,
that'll be really nice because then not everybody will be drooling over what Bitcoin's doing or what Ethereum's doing, and
yeah.
it'll allow things to kind of have a natural progression.
And that I think that natural progression is important. Very much.
Yes, yeah, especially as far as the market goes, it'll give some solidarity to crypto for a lot of other investors too, who currently go, why would I trade all these other coins when I could just trade Bitcoin that does the exact same thing as everything else?
Pretty much. SHIB. So SHIB's really interesting. SHIB had that huge rally a couple days ago. Now we're kind of going sideways here. Kind of waiting for a higher time frame SMAs to kind of catch up to them as they correlate with the market. We definitely hit that 200 period moving average up here on that daily, which is basically the monthly A here. So it's really interesting to see how this correlated here. We have that monthly, then additionally to that, we got the weekly 20 sitting below it. So it's something that we'll see some ping ponging here, definitely for sure. SHIB came out with a lot of fundamentals that they are definitely doing, that they're bringing to market. So looking at it from this perspective, I'm not good at fundamentals, right? But at least I have to sit there and acknowledge the fact is that they're coming out with that game, and that's going to have a huge burn mechanism on the actual coin. So when that really starts to burn the coins, right, we're definitely going to see an intrinsic value of SHIB move up. It's just intrinsically what will happen. So it's just really interesting to see this big push, and there, and we saw not it wasn't it was twice the amount that we've seen from the previous week, from this past week, but I was expecting more of a push up on this week, right? So maybe if this, and I put it like this, we might come down, test the 20 period weekly moving average. And then if this rally is up to say half, right, then the next week I do see us then rally up even higher on SHIB to that 2211 area. This 2020 to the 2216 area, simply because it's the next progression. I believe this is the monthly area too as well. Yeah, it is. So I see us hitting this. Obviously, we hit the weekly zone right here, or excuse me, daily looks like. Yeah, we hit the daily mark right here. So definitely a sell off. We hit that 200 period moving average as well within the zone. Seeing it come back down. So be paying attention to a drop down into the 8 moving average, which is that weekly period 20 20 moving average, and maybe even going sideways here until we see another push up. So be mindful of that, guys. With the SHIB. What do you think? What do you think about SHIB's new game coming out?
Yeah, that's if it works properly, it'll be
Yeah.
a game changer. And I say that very heavily because I feel like all these cool games come out and they all kind of have that first gen cell phone game feel to them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the 2010, 2011, Angry Birds was like the coolest thing you could possibly get on your phone.
Yeah.
That era of gaming is where we're kind of at. I mean, without being super insulting, I mean, I know there's developers working really hard on it, but that's kind of where we're at, which means the amount of people who are like, oh yeah, I'm going to play this game every day, kind of low. But once we can tackle that jump that hurdle and actually get games that are actually like solid, which I'm sure, especially with like SHIB, they have enough backing and enough investors and stuff like that to where I'm sure they can afford to get some serious developers on board and make something worth it. That'll be when the game really changes. It'll change now, and I'm sure we'll get a nice little pump out of it. But I still think games for crypto are still in that weird phase. What do you think? Do you think?
No, I was thinking about that. Like, you're right. Like, every game that I keep seeing is more like 8-bit, 16-bit, right? 32-bit. It's not
Yeah.
like, Grand Theft Auto where it's a full-on world and it's like almost sometimes 3D, right? It's like, or Final Fantasy, right? You look at Final Fantasy and it's like, whoa. Or some of the
Yeah, right.
other, yeah, I mean, it's just, there's nothing like it. When it comes to these games, it has that nostalgic feeling, but I'm not gonna sit there like, and I know you're a gamer, so like, it's got to come through. It's got to come through, and it's got to be a good game, right? It's got to be something they're gonna want to play
Right.
and make money and enjoy the graphics. Because if they don't,
Yeah.
who knows? I don't know. Maybe people around the world will play it. I don't see gamers in America going 100% on it just to, I can see people maybe just playing it just to make money, right? That could happen.
Yeah.
We saw that with the Axie Infinity games.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Axie Infinity is one of the ones that kind of climbed that wall really quick.
Yeah.
They did pretty good.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and jump.
Didn't they have an issue? They had a huge hack. Oh, sorry.
Huge hack. Huge
Yeah.
hack. It was like 300 million, something like that, right? I mean, it
This
was
is insane.
insanity.
Yeah.
Speaking of Axie, man, I actually want to pull them up. I'm going to pull it because they should have been up here. Was it AXI?
Axie Infinity. Oh god. Something like that. Let's see.
Axie, AXS. AXS. Yeah, they're really interesting. Like, they were, well, how much were they? I think at their peak.
Let's see. 1 year. At their peak, they were worth $150 a coin. Holy crap.
Yeah, I thought it was more than that.
Yeah. No, it's well, I'm at 1 year. I can go to max. What's max? Yeah, no.
They're 165. I believe they were 165. Now they're sitting at $17 here. And I remember when they hit this, I remember they shot up right here in October, and I was looking at them, and they bounced off of here at the 49 mark, and I said to myself, probably should buy them here. And then it had this huge push up. It was like a couple days later, it just shot up, right? And then I said, nah, this reminds me of a sucker play. So I said, you know what? I'll come back and I'll wait on it because it's gonna come back down. It's gonna come down this slip and slide here, right? Like, I knew that when it rallied here, I said this is gonna come back down to here at least. So I'll catch that retracement. And I just forgot, right? I just forgot. I'm kind of glad because now You know, I actually should be buying some actually here because I'm looking at this. Nah, I'm gonna capture it down at this 12 mark here, at least. Actually, let me see how far. Oh, it's still. Actually, we're gonna do a little bit of extra, Man, this right here. This is really right. This would be nice right here.
Well, you're seeing it here first, people.
This is right. This
What's
is
going
always
on?
how I do it, right? I just get caught up.
Is
I'm like,
it,
ooh, and then before you know it, like
what's this?
like this is the area. And then people's like, "There's no way. It's not even possible." I'm like,
Right?
yeah, but this is what the chart tells me. This is what it's telling me. So watch it actually. But I would definitely look at something at this level here. You know, this is definitely something that I'm looking at. So I'll definitely put something here. $3 mark here. Yeah, maybe we'll push this to right here. This $1 mark. And then I would be shocked if we saw it fall below. This is a nice area right here. This push up from here. This would be my low bear. Unless if they got hacked again.
That is probably why they are the price they are.
Yeah, these are good little areas here. I might, you know, like right in this area here. What's that?
Nothing. You're just like, oh, yep, this spot right here. Oh, yep. Oh, yep. This is it. It's like, oh, here we go, guys. I hope everybody's paying attention. Pedro's giving away all the secrets right now.
Shut up. this is a Hail Mary. Like this is, it might happen, might not, but I definitely am seeing the $3 mark area here, and that $5 mark, right? And then if we come down, if the market starts to sell off, or you know, like that, if we see Bitcoin come down, we see it starts to sell off, and also Ethereum, like these babies are
Mm-hmm.
down, like it, and these are, and I don't see Axie Infinity going out of business. They have too much going for them, right? Way too much. I mean,
Right.
we know that Warren Buffett is tied to them through other ways, right? He went through the proper way, but the company that he went through is definitely in league with Axie. So, and then also Bitcoin himself, even though he publicly denounces Bitcoin, he's heavily invested into another company that goes through and purchases Bitcoin. So, again, right? We don't hear him outright talking against Bitcoin or anybody again anymore now that the SEC is getting involved. So, and for a smart reason, right? Like he's got to be smart about it now. He can't just be like popping off anymore. He's smart. He's a brilliant man. So while he was doing what he could do to manipulate the markets the way that it would be smart to manipulate it. So, yeah, and look, these are good areas on that monthly chart too. Look at that, boom, that monthly chart hit right here, that 4, and then look right here, yeah, pretty.
All right. So we going long, or what are we doing right now?
Yeah, these areas here.
What's the call?
So looking to short. So I'm definitely looking to short from where we're sitting at here down to these areas here to the $5 mark. And additionally to that, I want to add on that we did not have a wick on this previous month. So to me, typically that means more of a bullish signal. So we could see a rally back up to this 34, 32 mark area, and then see us sell off even at these levels here. If we continue this bull rally here, I see this being the stopping point for Xfinity. Why am I saying it wrong? I keep saying Xfinity. Xfinity. So yeah. So
Axie Infinity. You got this.
Axie Infinity. Yeah. Axie Infinity. So definitely be looking more or less for it to be shortened though. Want to capture this short here. We're definitely seeing volume stepping off here and just kind of Moran just moving sideways here. So I'm looking at this for this starts to pick up. There's nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing here. Maybe something here. Maybe I would be shocked. It's tough. This it might hold. I doubt it though. I really doubt that this would hold right here. You know what I'm saying? Let me put you on hold real quick if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah. I'm on hold. I'm all by myself, holding it down, holding it down. What are we doing? Crystal on Axis. Let me bust out. Nope. Nope.
Sorry about that. I have certain people who I allow call me, and
You're
like
fine.
family, friends, and stuff like that. So, here we go, guys. So, looking at this here real quick, I could sit here and truly see us. It might stop here. I really doubt it, but we might see a stop here, and then if we do see that stop here, but again, it's just gonna be really hard to sit there and gauge this because it's already been eaten up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So it might stop here at the 12 mark, 12, 11 mark here for you guys. But if it does not, it's probably going to go through, touch it again a little, come down, touch it again, shoot up a little, tap it again, and then just shoot down, come back, retrace, then drop. So that's most likely the pattern that we'll see. And again, that's going to be what we're going to see with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So if that does happen, we see a drop. That's what we're looking to look at. I can't believe I didn't have Axie Infinity on here. That's crazy. All right.
Something to watch now.
Yep. Something paying attention to. All right, guys. So let's jump back down to what we're looking at. So we went Shiba AVAX. Mr. AVAX, let's check them out here. Oh, I hate it when that happens. This is a monthly. Yeah, let's go to that month chart here.
You got to hit that lock button.
I know. I do need to.
I never do. I never do. I go to scroll with my fingers. My fat thumb moves on like a really important resistance line. I'm like, oh, great. Thank you. Way to go, Josh. Jeez, stupid.
Way to go, fat thumbs. Right, like I tell myself.
Right? Way to go. God. That's why I can't have nice things.
All right. So we're seeing here on the monthly chart, we did come up, we did touch this area. Now we're having a sell-off. Now, I believe we hit some resistance here. So obviously we are bouncing off of this weekly area here. Here is that demand zone that we had picked out for the week. We definitely hit it. We're seeing it rally up. We are finding support at this 8 moving average. Be looking for maybe a sell off back down to this area here as a retracement. AVAX is again another solid institution. The only thing is, I want to bring this up, is when you look at the volume, we definitely saw more volume of sellers than buyers on this push up. So this area here is an important area of support. If we blow through this area of the 19 to 16 area, we're coming down to that 11-10 area mark here. Simply because that's kind of the last resistance in this area as of right now. And then from there, we'll see what the markets do. But you can see here that we definitely have less buyers stepping in than we did have sellers as if we were dropping. And then we at the top here are putting not as much. You see we have a seller weight coming down. So we'll see what happens here. On the daily here, let me see. Yeah, we don't have any, we have no buyer wicks on the daily. So I definitely see us at least coming down to this 22. Oh, there we go. Pardon me. So we
Dropping stuff already.
Definitely seeing the market coming down to our area here because there really isn't anything stopping it. So if you're looking to short, you could short it down to the 26 to the 23 area mark. And if we start to show support on the 50 sitting here on that daily, then maybe take off that short. But the reality is, though, is there's not like, daily.
Oh, baby.
1, 2. It's a very slim chance, but we do have that SMA sitting here, so it's something that you do need to be mindful of this. So yeah, I would take that short off around this area here, just simply because we have that 50 period moving average sitting right here. So give me 1 second. Let's do that 8. Right here, guys. So this is, yeah, I would take that short from the 26 to the 28 mark here. Wait for another retracement again as it pierces through this 20 period moving average. We are looking to find a little bit of support. You can see it. But if we see an opening tonight that it goes up first, we want it, most likely it's going to come down, and then you can capture, you can jump on that short around in this area here. Again, point out in this demand zone right here where we're sitting. You can sit there and see that there is that 50 period moving average sitting in the zone. So I definitely see us at least coming down to this area here. We'll find out what happens though. Thoughts on AVAX, my friend?
I'm just now looking at the chart on AVAX. I really haven't looked at AVAX a whole bunch.
Oh wow.
I'm looking. I got some. I try to keep it a little. If I try to focus on too many different things, I mean, that's why we have you, right, Pedro? Is because you have the capabilities of remembering every single coin ever in the history of ever. But I really don't look at AVAX all too often. Like I'll glance at it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yes. Looks like on the hour chart we touched my bottom Bollinger Band, so you better watch out. If that comes up and touches my moving average in the middle and comes back down, we could be going for a little bit of a long ride, potentially. We'll see. I'm putting my little figures down. We'll see what happens. Oh,
this is good.
Did we lose you?
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I can't see you.
No, no worries. Yeah. I actually have to. I gotta grab something here real quick.
Oh.
I'm gonna take an intermittent. Give me a 5-minute intermittent moment, and then I'll be back real quick. It'll probably be quicker than 5, but I just have to step away from the computer real quick and give me 5 minutes, and I will be back. Actually, probably less than that. Josh, tell us about your views on some of the things that's going on in the charts, just from a trading view, and I will be back.
Let's see what we're working with. Let's go back to what I'm liking here.
All right, I'm gonna go check out ADA, see what we're working with here. It's my go-to. It's what I trade often. I go to my walking list here. There it is. Launch. All right. So I've been out of the market for quite some time. I'm on vacation, so I apologize. But let's see. ADA's looking very good. Of course, that's where I go to. That's my go-to spot for what I'm doing my shorts and longs and day trading goodness on is on ADA, and it's looking like we're setting up for another long position. But what's the hour? Let's see. It's hard to not show you guys this because I'm just working on my tablet here. Let's see. Zoom out. Go to a larger time frame. Go to 2 hours. Still doing the same thing. We've tapped the bottom Bollinger Band. We already grabbed a nice long position 2 days ago. Zoom out. What are we working with? I'm hoping it's going to come back up into the 55. Ooh. Depending on where it goes, we could hit 50. Where are we at? 1, 2. We could come up as high as 57, in my opinion. I'm not an expert. 57 cents for ADA if this reverses the way I want it to. Otherwise, like we were saying earlier, 50 cents, maybe lower. But of course, no matter how you spin it, it's always a good time to buy stuff.
Sorry, guys, I had to
I'm-
step away for just a moment. I actually had to handle something real quick, so apologize about that.
No worries. They got to listen to me run my mouth about ADA because that's the chart I have back up. I'm double checking some of my stuff that I put up before I went on my little sabbatical from the internet, if you will. And
So
3 of them worked out of the 4. So this is good.
This is good. This is good. So let's go ahead and pull up. So we just got done with SOL, not SOL, but AVAX. Let's check Matic here real quick.
There's the other one
Matic
that
is
I want to start trading more.
Matic has hit our, I believe, weekly zone here. Is it daily zone? Yes, daily zone right here. So we hit our daily zone, shot up. Now we're starting to push through here. So I believe it came up and touched the end right in this area here. So, but we do have that 200 period moving average, and we have that 8 period moving average sitting above here. So we definitely crossed below the, like I said yesterday, we were hitting this 20 period moving average, and we had already kind of pierced a lot of it. And so I was more bearish on Matic coming down to at least our 50 period moving average, which is that 78. But I'm more interested in this 68 cent mark area simply because it has an 8 moving average on, I believe, the weekly here. No, the weekly. Let me put this up here too as well. So I definitely see us coming also, like I said, this 80, 70, 79 mark here, just because we have that 50 period moving average on the daily sitting in this area here. So we'll see some type of reaction, but I'm really more interested in it at the 68 to 60 mark for Matic. Just simply because it's the previous highs, and in addition to that, coming down to this area would be a nice little retracement of 50% from its peak of this last rally. So that's why I'm looking really to kind of capture that, like that 60, 50 cent mark area on this area as a dollar cost average into Matic here. So giving this to you guys as you're looking at it, you also have that 200 period moving average, which is typically a major moving indicator. This is the 200 period moving average that Bitcoin hit before we had the last turnaround, the last leg down that we saw. It came up, it hit that, it was in a zone, and we basically, I remember, I think we were on Moonrock Live, right? When I said, guys, we're hitting this 200 period moving average. And I think the next day we hit it, we had a big seller wick, and I said, this thing's coming down to at least 40,000, at least, and probably to the 30,000 mark. I think everybody was like, there's no way. And I was like, there is a way, and it is happening. So the
Why it
fact
gotta
that
be that way, Pedro? Why it gotta be that way?
it happens. But I say that because again, we couldn't even touch the 200 period moving average up here on Matic, and we had some sell off. So we'll see what happens here. But we're definitely seeing sellers step in here, and it's equating to about the same amount of buyers that were moving in. But we definitely have a slippery slide, at least down to the 50 or to the 70-cent mark. So if you're long here and it's just a short-term play that you're playing, I would definitely get out. I don't see us stopping here, or at least that 80-cent mark, or 83-cent mark. But I'm confident, pretty confident in the 60, 50-cent mark that we'll probably be coming down to this levels here. Each person has a different view, but I just see, just because we have a lack of volume coming in even more, that I don't see volume stepping up until we're at another fair point to buy. Like you can see here, when we're at these lows, we had a lot of volume stepping in, right? Boom. So I think we have more buyers down at least a 50% retracement, if not at, the way crypto retraces, 80%, 75 to 80% mark that we might see people want to step in at. So be mindful of that. Boom. Thoughts on Matic, my friend?
Oh yeah, Matic's the hard one, because Matic is now buddy with Disney, so now there's no telling. It's almost hard to say. I want it to come back down because that makes the most sense for my charting too, but I don't know if they keep rolling on the path they're rolling on, we might not go back down that far. I mean, they kind of seem to be, they kind of separated, they kind of broke off, like I was saying earlier, like Ethereum. They kind of broke off from everybody else, because there's a bunch of top 10s we made that huge drop and then they kind of recovered and we've been kind of in that limbo. But Matic broke through, Ethereum broke through, and then everybody else has just been kind of hanging out. So I don't know if that means more of a painful drop for Matic, or if that means that Matic is, due to the news, especially with it being Disney. I feel like that grabbed a lot of investors, like, ooh, Disney? That's a good buy right there. So I feel like there's a significant amount of holders, like more holders now, just based off of only that news. Because there's a serious pump after that. It was gradual, but it was a pretty, 30 something or 40 something cents, and we climbed all the way up to 80 cents real quick.
Yeah.
And it's held. It's not like it jumped up and corrected. Like it jumped up and pretty much stayed.
I hear that. The only problem is I think the institutions, because now the fact that Disney's involved and everything like that, I don't think they got everything that they wanted down here. I feel like that's why they actually stopped buying at this level.
Yeah.
That's why, like, we definitely saw a slowdown of comparative buying here to down in this level here. I think they want to bring it back down and get more at this level, just primarily because that's institutions. They're greedy. They want to be able to capture. And honestly, 43 cent or 43, 33 cent mark here is a cheap price in comparison to even the all-time high, which was at $4 or $2, right? So
yeah,
or $3. So that's one of those things that they could see easily in the next bull run. We want to add on at least. I mean, we could see Matic at $10, right? Like where it's
right.
I forget what we're a $60 billion coin, maybe even $100 billion coin at these levels. So it's crazy to think about. Even I think honestly $6 is cheap. I do think 60 $80. You know, once we catch the bear or bull market again, you know, and
Yep.
then really, and there's going to be a lot of money to be made off of this. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here. You know, that's the biggest thing. And so at these levels, right, even $1, 30 cents, you know, 50 cents, it's cheap. You know, so I think that's why they're saying, hey, let's wait. They'll come back down. We'll purchase more because we're still in. Like I said, we're in a bear trap within the market. So, but we'll see what's up. Boom. So that's why they make tomato, and that's why they make tomatoes.
That's right.
Some people say tomato. Some people say tomatoes. Boom, boom, boom.
I like to make my money today and tomorrow's.
Exactly. My money don't jiggle.
Oh no. No, I did so good to get that out of my head.
No.
Ruined forever.
No. Now, I like what we see with Tron here, just primarily because Tron is still a juggernaut of a company I don't like, and I think Rafi talks about how they have that algorithmic stablecoin, right? That they're looking to do and really push. So we're going to see how that works out, but we're definitely going sideways here on Tron. We have that monthly as well as so we're sitting between the monthly SMA sitting here. So we're playing some ping pong here between the two. On that monthly, that weekly, we're definitely moving off of that 100 period moving average. You try to have a huge sell-off, but it's getting weaker. You can see here and see that it's not necessarily building momentum on the volume stage here, right? Like our volume stage is definitely showing weakness here. So on this part right here, we had a huge sell-off, and now we're moving up. So for me, I'm definitely more bearish on us at least coming down to the 4 cent mark, 3 cent mark area here. Because after this, it's nothing but just, you know, it's nothing but down here. Look at that. Did you see that?
Expecting. Or are you back? Am I back? Is that my fault?
No, that was
Oh.
it was definitely my fault. So and I believe like this is the kind of the line in the sand right here too. So once we get through this area, it's just free falling and you know what I'm saying?
Free falling.
We got to be careful. We can't be doing stuff like that because we might get flagged by Facebook and YouTube.
You're right.
And this doesn't.
You just have to distort it.
Yeah, distort.
Free falling. See, no, now nobody knows what we're singing.
Nope. Well, now see that might be copyrighted here too by Peanuts. You know what I'm saying?
Look, all I know is if they come at us, we'll just grab this recording and we'll go to court and be like, "You tell me what we're singing," and they'd be like, "Yeah, you're right. I don't know what they're trying to do." There's two random dudes making a bunch of noise on the internet. Like, okay,
I
think you guys are good.
Special.
That's right.
Oh man, that's good. So yeah, just be paying attention, guys. Like I'm very bearish on here, but I think from I do like them just primarily because of what they're doing in the markets overall. Let's go into Uniswap. Now, I think Uniswap is probably one of the most underrated. I think they're just a juggernaut of a launching pad. And they partnered obviously with Ethereum and a lot of stuff that's going on there. So it's just like BSC, right? It's like PancakeSwap. You know, they partner with BSC and they're always launching. So it's like they've got a smart little deal here, and they're always making money no matter what, right? Like that's what I like about them is that they're always making money. It's almost like just from a fundamental standpoint, you know, how can you fault a company that's always going to make money? You know,
right.
So, just saying.
Usually, what you want companies to do is make money. So
exactly, their money don't jiggle.
Oh, geez, there it is again. Oh,
No.
Ruined my life.
Um. So I'm looking at this really quick. Just like we're obviously hitting the moving average on the A. We do have a clean shot down. It did put in a nice little seller wick, and let's see if it continues down for the rest of the month. I do see us. Oh, what just happened there? What just happened to
A nice little bottom. How much time we got left? Oh, 2 hours.
Oh yeah, we gotta wrap this up here real quick. We have a little too much fun here.
Oh yeah, it's 2 hours. It's all right. It's a good time.
I got Uni. Let's do Leo here real quick. So let's jump here and do this real quick. Oh snaps! There we go. That's weird. Oh man, how do I move this back? Like this? There we go. All right. So I just want to point this out here real quick. We had a huge sell-off. You can see the volume stepping in right here. Then we had a huge amount of volume. So it's interesting to see that if it's at the mid-month, we're at about midpoint. So if we're sitting at, if we see this push down all the way down to here, look for the market to continue selling off into the next month. So if you're looking to dollar cost average, this is probably a good pricing to be at between the $8 and the $2 mark here. I do
$8,
see
$2.
Well, I know that's a large spread, but in comparison to their peak, which is I think was like $18,
Mm-hmm.
or excuse me, $42. I'm sorry, 42, 43. So yeah, I think right here from a 45 mark, $8 is still fairly cheap. I mean, but either way, I see your point. I guess you're right. I mean, maybe down in the 6, but honestly, after that 6
I was
mark,
in the
it's
650 area.
3. Let's look at that daily.
How do you know this
650.
is mildly
Yeah,
hard to do with no mouse?
650 is the first part
Yeah, the
area.
650 area.
And then I would sit there and say, no, not even there. Next part is $3, 370, and it's even a small part from here, and then it's a straight fall after there.
Yep.
I mean, so definitely.
What's their all-time low
I believe the all-time low. Give me 1 second.
in this cycle? Sorry. I guess I should
Oh,
say
in the cycle, it's where we're at right now. It's 30. It's the 31.
3.
It's 325 area.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say. Is it's still sitting at a decent level. So for me, when me looking at, hey, look, we got a thumbs up on Facebook. Thank you, appreciate that.
Heyo.
If you can like, share us, and put us on other platforms, that would be phenomenal. We would appreciate you. But I just want to throw this out here real quick. In comparison to where I think Uniswap will most likely be, which will, I believe, be in the hundreds, like $100, $200 mark,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I think is a very slim chance that it will, it's like when, this reminds me of when 2008 happened, right? And you have Google, trading at 100, 200, and then it rallied to, I think it was 800, right? And then it dropped
Mhm.
back down to like 200 or 100 mark. And then it rallied. Then after that, now I think it's at 2000, right? Google's where it sits at. Did they split? I think they had 8-to-1 split before they did. But it's still one of those things that it's like still a deal, like this,
Right.
the $8 to $3 mark. I mean, wait for maybe retracing back down to that $6 and then that $3 mark, something like that, right? It definitely will be coming back, retracing back down into these areas. But DCAing at that levels isn't bad for Uniswap.
No, not at all.
Boom. Let's check out Leo. I don't know, unless you have a different thought process.
No, that's pretty much where I'm at. I mean, I don't follow, like, we're now in coins where I don't really pay full attention, so I don't have a bunch of markers, you know, set up for me to go through and check out. But I'm tracking with what you're saying. I mean, we're still in the low anyways. I mean,
Yeah,
in
it's
my
like
opinion, you can pretty much just kind of point and shoot, and you know,
we do good.
hide your address and delete your wallet off your phone, and then come check your wallet after 10 years, and I'm sure you'll be very wealthy.
Very, very, very wealthy.
Yes.
Very, 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 very.
Especially if you invest in things like Moonrock and use RockSwap to move things around. And just found that out there. Didn't know if anybody knew about that.
And just as a
Crazy.
disclaimer, now you are a part of us, correct?
That is correct. What?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we want to put out a disclaimer. We are a part of Moonrock, but this is a show on just simply trading and news and the market analysis. And so I like to go. I know I kind of go into the weeds, but I want to give you guys good info. I want to give you guys stuff that you can play with and honestly sit there and go, "Oh, dang, that's good," right? Because I believe quality and quantity of quality is better than just fun, right? Like I do aim to make this more funner. Actually, I think grammatically I just destroyed that, right? More funner.
I think we should turn that into a t-shirt. Pedro's trading. It's more funner. R is really cool. We do R is fun.
Oh man. Oh,
That's right. I say funner. It's all right.
funner. That's all good. We'll keep working on things. But we can see here that we hit the weekly 20 period moving average, and we're definitely coming back down on Leo, down a little bit further. So Leo, I feel like is a really strong in comparison to a lot of the other charts we have seen all day. Now, if we look at these guys, like they haven't even seen really a drop in comparison to what we've seen with other coins. And so this is important to understand. I sit there and I'm kind of amazed by these guys. I would love to meet them and find out what they're doing and keeping their community engaged with us or within their system without selling, because that's a remarkable thing, right? Just sit there and say, look, if you look at Bitcoin from May of, or excuse me, June of 19 to today, it definitely does not look like this chart. So now the fact is that we are hitting that 8-period moving average on the monthly. We pierced it, now coming up. We could see another sell-off. Same idea here. We're coming up to the higher time from SMAs on the weekly, 20 NA, and we did not put in a buyer wick here. Really, that's a little small little baby wick. So I can see it's coming back down to at least a $4 mark. And if we look at the daily is
Yeah, we did overbuy.
What's up?
We did overbuy a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my indicators and yours at the same time. Sitting. Good.
Yeah, it's
We might come down. Yep. Yeah, it's we're gonna come down 5. Ooh, I don't know. I can't see that. 510-ish is gonna be the next quick drop.
Yep.
But after that, it's a free fall till.
I would even say more like 503, 504, just because this is the next area, 503, 504. You could short it at least down to here. And then the next spot, honestly, go ahead.
What hour are you on? I'm on a 2 hours, so I don't know what.
Oh, I'm actually on the daily.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So that's perfect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, so that just confirms what I'm looking at on the 2 hours. It's going to come down a decent amount. We've got a lot of seller wicks rolling on. Well, not a lot, but yeah. Coming on down. 510. You said 506. You said 5. You thinking lower?
Yeah.
506. Go down to a lower time frame.
I really do see it's coming down to the 550 or the 451. That's really where I could see Leo moving to, just primarily because you have that 400 period moving average sitting right here. Which indicates a much higher time frame SMA sitting So we'll see what happens there, but I definitely like I like Leo down at 433 area, and especially down at the $3 mark. But these levels here aren't bad levels. The only issue that I have is that we don't see a lot of volume stepping in with people buying and selling. So, but we'll
No.
see what happens as we keep moving forward.
We have a ton of. Oh, I'm on a half hour. Never mind.
What's up?
Scratch that. I was like, man, there's a lot of sideways. Like, there's no growth in these candles when I'm on a half hour. On the half hour chart from 1200 to 1200. It just did nothing. Just trended like extra sideways on the half hour chart. It's kind of crazy looking. Unless I'm on a different chart.
I mean, I try not to get down to the nitty gritty there, just because that goes into day trading, and I want to give people more of like the daily turn points, just so that they can gauge based off their own day trading style, right? So each person has day trading style.
I just check this low because it gives me my confirmations I need for the higher time frames.
Yes.
It's easier for me to break down the big picture with all these crazy sideways candles. Wow. Yeah, they're coming. They're gonna come back down, I think. Hashtag I'm not a professional. Don't take my advice.
Well, that's why we have.
I'm still learning.
That's why we have the disclaimer. But really, when I'm looking at the and I think you are. I mean, listen, after what I've taught you and what you're able to gauge, I would say you're probably better than 60% of the people out there who trade. I mean, realistically.
Hey, I was shooting for 10%, so I'm already cool. I'm good. I'm good with 60.
I mean, I know that your trading ratio is at least 55% and up. So, you have a good, and most people would love just to get 30%.
Yeah. I also don't trade every trade. I wait a lot.
You wait for confirmation. You wait for confirmation, which is what I teach you. Confirmation. You want to wait until it tells you. You want to wait for a trending stuff. You want to wait for trending indicators to let you know it's safe to be in, and you're going to have the algos working with you. But that's besides the point. So let's go ahead and jump right here to Litecoin. So Litecoin is looking really interesting. Litecoin. Now Litecoin is obviously off of the Bitcoin Ethereum or the Bitcoin network. You know, they built a secondary what's it called, blockchain off of it, right? I know I used to know quite a bit about it. I don't know why I forgot it, but they are a good company, so I like looking at them because they are in the top 20. And the reality is that I do see them almost leading the way. If Bitcoin is going to be moving, I do see that Litecoin would be something that would be gauging it. I do like the fact that as I see us moving down, that our volume is dropping off here, right, on the buyers. So meaning that we'll probably see Litecoin drop below this 50 mark that I have marked here, and seeing us get down to the nitty gritty 11 mark, which means again that this is right. We could see this. This is not, and I know it sounds crazy because we're sitting at this 60, $50, $60 mark here, but so coming down to the next level is the $11 mark, which means that if you look at Bitcoin, it would probably do half of that, right? We've talked about, so that $10 mark here is another indicator for myself. As we see, as we're moving up, we don't see an increase in volume here, right? And so to me, that's one of the biggest indicators that I look at to see that we are going to have a continuation of a move. And as you can see here, we're having a drop of volume in these levels. So these are things that to be mindful of as we're moving. Now let's go ahead and look at the
there's been a lot of volume movement in the last 24 hours on like
we have.
in comparison to the last month. That's
It's all
weird
right.
because it's setting up indicators for my long. I just need one more confirmation.
We'll
We'll
see what happens.
see.
Yeah, to me, I'm definitely short on here. I'm definitely short, at least down to the $51 mark area here.
Ooh.
You know, and then at this level,
I
but
feel
after
like we
that,
just need to be on a separate channel so I can ask you more detailed questions.
yeah. Well, you
Uh,
know, I'm always here. You can always hit me up.
Yeah.
But this right here is like that. But even this one is weak. Right? It's been tested. This actually might be more of an appropriate level here. But even this, as I'm looking at this right here, man, this might be that line in the sand. If it does not hold here, guys, then it's bye bye, Miss America. Oh, look at me, man. I keep singing them songs.
Great. We're gonna get flagged, Pedro. This is why.
I know.
Look. How are we ever gonna get famous if you keep singing these awesome songs with your beautiful voice and getting us flagged?
You know, I might do one day a greatest hits of trading with Pedro. You know, it might be a major publisher, or not.
You should do that.
Album. Dude, I don't even think they call them albums anymore. What do they call them? Like,
I have no idea.
I know, right? EPs or releases, or I don't even know what they call them anymore. No, man, but like, so for me, I say, look, we can see Salarwick stepping in. We don't have, you know, we have a, you know, even, you know, except for here, and then you have even, and then boom, right? So it's like, you know, and after this, it's even.
Hmm.
This has been tested. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right here. 1, 2, right? Like, boom.
Mhm.
You have this little area right here. So this is why I sit there and say, we're in a place for
Even.
for some hardships coming up. Maybe here,
1, 2, 3,
maybe the
4,
32.
5.
I say the 32.
Oh, I'd have to check on larger time frames because if we can hit my moving average and come back down a little bit, we're in for a decent long position. If is the key word.
F.
If it doesn't hit my moving average, are we at a double? We already came down, but we could come down again. I just don't have indicators for my setup for a super bad short.
I see.
But I do have some wicks on. Once again, I'm on a half hour because I look at different time frames.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got on an hour. Oh, those wicks at the bottom there over the last couple hours. I'll look at 1, 2, 3. Trend line.
Yeah, I definitely see us moving down. We are definitely trending down.
Oh yeah, it's 4. It's even. Never mind. We'll see. I still have. I've written down my indicators. Check with me tomorrow, or check with me in a couple hours.
Couple hours.
Yeah.
We'll come back
Yeah.
and check this out tomorrow because I don't see them going out being in the top 20 tomorrow. So
No. I'm just curious.
Now let's check out Crow, our last one here, real quick.
Oh, Crow.
Crow.
This is way easier to do on vacation, by the way. Don't know if you knew that.
That
As opposed to doing this at work where you're like, let's check this out. And I'm like, well, just gonna have to listen and make comments. Ooh, bro, you got a little bit of a sell-off. What's going on there?
there we are. Here
But
we
that
go.
also
Nice.
sets
Come
me
on.
up.
Here we are. Give me this crow sell off. I've been waiting for this. I saw this and I'm like, I'm not, dude. I almost bought in, dude. This is how hard it is to follow your rules. When we started rallying,
Uh-huh.
like, no, and then
I
we hit,
missed it.
yeah. I was like, and then I said to myself, I said, it's going to retrace, and like I had to tell myself, it will retrace, and like,
Yep.
and so sure enough, man, we're coming back down. So I see Crow at least coming down to this 12-cent mark, 11-cent mark here. So it's one of those things that just to be mindful of. I'm definitely trying to accumulate in this area with Crow. I like their blockchain. They're specifically focusing on financial. What just happened? Did I just lose it? Oh, I think I just lost my mind. So I like their blockchain because they're specifically focusing on financial indicator, money market coins, stable coins, unique financial coins for Crow on their blockchain. So I really like what they're doing there. So I am definitely looking to be purchasing and buying on Crow's blockchain. Some of the stuff I've actually purchased some of their coins that have been launched on their blockchain. So I like what they're doing. So for me personally, I'm definitely pro Crow. And
Ooh,
dollar cost
Pro
average.
Crow.
Pro Crow.
Quick Pro Crow.
Quid pro quo. Don't tell Trump that.
That's right.
No, that's
Yeah, we're coming down pretty good on Crow here.
yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
We'll get you some.
Get it. So definitely like the movement of it. The biggest thing is this though, is I'm definitely looking for it more down at this 12-cent, 10-cent area. As we keep continuing down, I'll definitely be accumulating as it keeps going, as it keeps dropping. So we'll see what happens there though.
Funny. I haven't opened my Crow in a long time, but I have an indicator put it, or a marker put it 1150 is where my marker is. I haven't checked it. I don't know how long do I put it on there, but that's apparently where I have some sort of resistance. 1150.
Yeah, it's a good area. Doing it there right now. That's where my area is typically. I have it at 11:15. So that's where
Okay.
my area is, 11:15 area. And then my other one is 9 or 99. 9 cent or point.
Yeah, that
0.099. So there's some areas.
it's that happy number. At least
Happy.
that's what I call them. Happy numbers.
Happy.
There's always the happy numbers where there's a ton of buyers and
Yeah.
sellers sitting around.
Yes.
It's always even numbers, and it's always happy numbers. $69,000, $420, $400, $100, $25, stuff like that. Happy numbers. It's where people psychologically really like to buy and sell things at because it makes them feel good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially on an upward climb. You'll see a bunch of buyers hop in. It looks like on even numbers, and then you'll get the same people who bought will sell at a big even number.
Uh-huh.
So if it's $10 and they buy in, they'll sell at $50.
Yep.
And they'll sell at $100.
It's true.
Easy math for people to be like, oh man, I made $40, as opposed to like, oh man, I made $43.22. It doesn't sound as exciting.
Unless you're in there and you're like, oh, dude, you squeaked out like literally like an extra like 5%, bro, or 10%.
Yep.
Good job.
Yep. That's why I set all of my stuff whenever I do trading is always weird numbers. My stop loss is always like off. Like I'll see where I want it to be and I'll be like, no, we're going to change that up a little bit just in case everybody else is thinking the same way.
and
Yeah.
then that way I don't get skipped over.
Yeah, that's actually a perfect way of looking at it. It's actually a good way of looking
Probably loses me a fraction of a percent, but at least I complete my trades and I don't sit there going, "Wait, we touched it. What the heck happened?"
That's exactly what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always, I'm the same way. Very much the same way. All right, my friend. Hey, thank you so much for coming in today's show. I appreciate you. Love to have you tomorrow on if you can make it. Probably
man.
around the same time, around 11:30, 11 o'clock, 11:30, and we'll probably have like an hour or two show. So it'll be
Eastern.
good though. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah.
Because I'm currently on the West Coast, so
Yes.
I'm actually a couple miles away from Adolph. Adolpha.
Adolpha. Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
you guys-
he's
you guys
only
gonna
like
meet
an
up?
hour away from me.
Oh,
I haven't seen him on here, so I don't know what he's doing.
Oh, we gotta bring him on. I love having him. He's always great. He's always such a good guy.
I mean,
He's a good guy. Good ideas. Always good ideas. Fun with good ideas.
yeah, shoot me a message tomorrow with the link and give me a time frame where you're going to start, or whenever you
Yeah.
start, shoot me a link. I am doing a little bit of running around, seeing some people tomorrow, but I might be able to hop on for a half hour and talk smack.
Oh, we good.
I mean, talk about the market.
Just talking smack. I'd appreciate that
Just
more.
talking smack.
That's all good. All right, brother. I'll see you soon. Thanks, guys, for joining today. Again, appreciate you. If you can like, share, and subscribe to what we're doing here, that'd be great. If you enjoyed the content, leave a couple messages on it. And also, guys, this also is an AMA. That means ask me anything. So if you want me to look at some charts and just check them out, please throw your name out there, and I'd love to be able to help you guys out. All right, guys. Many blessings and have a great day. Bye.
See you guys.
We'll see you.